Jake Morrison stood at the window of Earth Defense Station Alpha watching the stars. He had been a commander for 8 years, but he had never seen anything like this. The space around Earth was usually quiet, with only small ships moving between planets. Today was different. Today, something big was coming. The alarm started ringing across the station. Red lights flashed on every wall. Jake ran to the main control room, where his team was working at their computers. The screens showed dots moving toward Earth. Big dots. Very big dots. "Sir, we have 50 ships coming out of hyperspace," said Lieutenant Ben Davis, his voice shaking. "They are huge. Each one is about 3 kilometers long." Jake looked at the main screen. The alien ships were beautiful in a scary way. They were silver and smooth, with no rough edges. Blue lights ran along their sides like veins. They moved in perfect formation, like dancers in space. But Jake knew these were not friendly visitors. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jake ordered. "Tell them the aliens are here." Far below on Earth, Admiral Lisa Parker was eating lunch in her office when the message arrived. She worked in a secret base deep under the ground in Colorado. The base was built into solid rock, safe from any attack from space. Lisa had been waiting for this day for 20 years. The message came through on her secure phone. "Admiral, this is Station Alpha. We have contact. 50 alien ships, very large, moving toward Earth." Lisa put down her sandwich and walked to the command center. The room was full of computers and screens. Hundreds of people worked there, watching space and listening for signals from other worlds. When Lisa entered, everyone stopped talking. "Put it on the main screen," she said. The huge screen on the wall showed the alien fleet. Lisa had seen the pictures that came from deep space telescopes, but seeing them this close was different. The ships looked like they could destroy planets. Each one had weapon ports along its sides. Blue energy glowed from their engines. "Ma'am, we are getting a transmission from the alien fleet," said Major Rick Collins. "They want to talk." "Put it through," Lisa said. The screen changed to show an alien face. The creature was tall and thin, with blue skin and large black eyes. It wore a uniform covered in medals and symbols. When it spoke, its voice was deep and cold. "I am Fleet Commander Vexthara of the Zephyrian Dominion," the alien said. "You humans have 7 of your days to surrender completely. If you do not surrender, we will destroy your world and everyone on it." The alien pressed a button, and the screen showed a video. Lisa watched as the alien ships fired their weapons. At a large asteroid, the asteroid exploded into tiny pieces. Then the screen showed a dead planet with no life on it. The surface was cracked and burned. "This is what happens to worlds that refuse to join the Dominion," Vexthara said. "Your weapons cannot hurt our ships. Your technology is like toys compared to ours. Surrender now, and some of you may live as our servants." The transmission ended. The command center was very quiet. Lisa looked around at her team. They all looked scared. The alien weapons were clearly more powerful than anything humans had ever built. "Get me the president," Lisa said, while Lisa was talking to the president. Dr. Marcus Webb was in his laboratory studying the alien transmission. Marcus was the smartest person on Earth when it came to alien technology. He had spent 15 years preparing for this moment. Marcus played the video over and over again. He watched how the alien ships moved. He studied their weapons. He looked at how they flew in formation. The aliens were trying to scare humans, but they were also showing off. And when someone shows off, they often reveal more than they mean to. "Computer, analyze the energy patterns from the alien weapons," Marcus said. The computer worked for several minutes. Then it showed Marcus what he wanted to see. The alien weapons used quantum plasma, which was very advanced. But the way they used it was not perfect. Marcus could see weak points in their shield systems. "Computer, analyze their ship formations," Marcus said. Again, the computer worked. The results showed that the aliens flew in patterns that were good for fighting other fleets in open space. But the patterns had blind spots, areas where the ships could not protect each other. Marcus smiled for the first time in hours. The aliens were powerful, but they were also predictable. They fought wars the same way everyone else in the galaxy probably fought wars. They built big ships and flew them in straight lines toward their enemies. Far out in space, Captain Amy Rodriguez was running for her life. She commanded 6 small human ships that had been on patrol when the aliens arrived. Her ships were tiny compared to the alien battleships. Each human ship was only 200 meters long. The alien ships were 15 times bigger. "Captain, they are following us?" said her pilot, Lieutenant Carl Murphy. "Should we fight?" Amy looked at her screens. Her 6 ships had small weapons that could barely scratch the paint on an alien ship. If they fought, they would all die in seconds, but maybe their death could help Earth. "No, we run," Amy said, "but we run slowly." "Slowly, ma'am?" Carl asked. "Yes. We want them to follow us. We want them to show us what they can do." Amy's ships flew in circles around the alien fleet. They stayed just out of range of the alien weapons. The aliens followed them, firing their guns and missiles. Amy's ships dodged and weaved. They were small and fast, much faster than the big alien ships. For 2 hours, Amy led the aliens on a chase through space. Her ships recorded everything: how fast the alien ships could turn, how far their weapons could shoot, how they talked to each other. All of this information was being sent back to Earth. Finally, Amy decided they had learned enough. "All ships, jump to hyperspace," she ordered. The human ships disappeared, leaving the aliens alone. The aliens had been shooting at them for hours, but had not hit a single human ship. On the alien flagship, Fleet Commander Vexthara was angry. "How did those tiny ships escape us?" he asked his weapons officer. "They are very fast, Commander," the officer replied. "But their weapons are weak. They could not hurt our ships even if they wanted to," Vexthara laughed. "Humans are like insects. They can run and hide, but they cannot fight. In 7 days, we will crush them like bugs." But Vexthara did not know that the humans had been recording everything. Back on Earth, Dr. Marcus Webb was studying the new information. He now knew exactly how the alien ships worked. He knew their strengths and their weaknesses. Admiral Lisa Parker read Marcus's report with great interest. The aliens were indeed very powerful. Their ships could destroy anything humans had ever built, but they had one big weakness. They were arrogant. They thought humans were too primitive to be a real threat. "Perfect," Lisa said to herself. "Let them think we are weak. Let them think we are helpless. When they attack, they will get the surprise of their lives." Lisa picked up her secure phone and made a call. "This is Admiral Parker. Begin Operation Fortress. It is time to show these aliens what humans have really been building." Across the solar system, people in secret bases received Lisa's message. They had been waiting for this moment for 30 years. The aliens thought they were conquering a helpless world. They had no idea that humans had been preparing for this war since before most of them were born. The trap was ready. Now they just had to wait for the aliens to walk into it. President Charles Bennett walked into the most secret room in the White House. The room was 50 feet underground, behind 3 locked doors made of thick steel. Only 12 people in the world knew this room existed. Today, all 12 of them were sitting around a long table, waiting for him. "Ladies and gentlemen," the president said, "the moment we have been preparing for has arrived. The aliens are here." General Patricia Cole opened a thick folder marked with red letters that said Top Secret Project Fortress. She had been the leader of this project for 15 years. Every night she went to sleep knowing that the safety of Earth depended on keeping this secret. "Mr. President," Patricia said, 30 years ago we detected the first alien radio signals from deep space. We knew that someday aliens would come to Earth. We had to decide how to protect ourselves." She pressed a button and a large screen came down from the ceiling. The screen showed pictures of space, with dots marking the positions of planets and asteroids. "Other worlds build big fleets of warships," Patricia continued. "They build thousands of ships and fly them around the galaxy. But we decided to do something different. We decided to turn our entire solar system into a weapon." The president leaned forward. He had been told about Project Fortress when he became president, but he had never seen the full details. What Patricia showed him was amazing and terrifying at the same time. Every major asteroid in our solar system has been hollowed out and turned into a weapons platform, Patricia explained. We have been working on this for 3 decades. We used mining ships to dig out the rocks from the inside. Then we built weapons inside them. From the outside, they look like normal asteroids, but inside, each one is a fortress. The screen showed pictures of asteroids being cut open. Inside, humans had built massive weapons. There were railguns that could fire metal projectiles at incredible speeds. There were particle beam weapons that could cut through any armor. There were missile launchers with enough firepower to destroy entire fleets. How many? The president asked. 4,312, Patricia answered. Every asteroid bigger than 5 kilometers has been weaponized. We also have weapons platforms hidden on the moons of Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. Even some of the smaller moons around Earth have been turned into gun positions. Engineer Tony Martinez stood up next. He was a short man with gray hair and tired eyes. For 15 years, he had worked on the most important problem in human history: how to hide weapons from alien sensors. The aliens scan for energy signatures and metal structures, Tony explained. They look for the things that spaceships are made of. But our weapons platforms are hidden inside real asteroids. The outside shell is real rock and ice. The aliens see what they expect to see, just floating space rocks. Tony showed the president pictures of asteroid weapons platforms. From the outside, they looked exactly like normal asteroids. Even close up, it was impossible to tell that they contained weapons. We use a special coating on the inside walls, Tony said. This coating blocks all energy signatures. The aliens cannot detect our weapons even if they fly right next to them. We also have fake rock shells that can open and close. When we need to fire our weapons, the shells open up. When we are done firing, they close again. Dr. Helen Carter was the person who designed the whole system. She was a small woman with short brown hair and bright eyes. She had spent her entire career thinking about how to fight wars in space. Mr. President, Helen said, most species think that space warfare is about having bigger ships and better weapons. They build fleets and fight battles in open space. But we realize that space is mostly empty. If you control the space itself, you control the battle. She pointed to the screen, which now showed the entire solar system. Red dots marked the hidden weapons platforms. We have turned the solar system into a maze, Helen explained. The aliens think they are flying through empty space, but they are actually flying through a minefield. Every piece of space debris, every small asteroid, every floating rock could be hiding weapons. They cannot attack all of them because there are too many. The president stared at the screen. There were thousands of red dots. The aliens would never be able to find all the hidden weapons platforms. What about supplies? The president asked. How do you keep all these weapons working? We built a secret supply network, Helen answered. We have hidden factories inside some of the larger asteroids. We have fuel depots hidden on small moons. We have repair ships that look like cargo haulers. Everything is disguised. Everything is hidden. Patricia Cole stood up again. She had more to show the president. Sir, we also have a secret communication system, she said. Every weapons platform is connected to every other platform. They can all talk to each other instantly, no matter how far apart they are. When the time comes to fight, all 4,000 platforms will act as one giant weapon. She showed the president how the system worked. Each platform had a quantum communicator that could send messages faster than light. The aliens could jam regular radio signals, but they could not jam quantum communication. The aliens think they are fighting the human military, Patricia said, but they are actually fighting the solar system itself. Every rock, every moon, every piece of space debris is on our side. In another part of the building, Admiral Lisa Parker was talking with her staff. She had been in charge of the military side of Project Fortress for 10 years. She knew more about fighting aliens than anyone else on Earth. The aliens made their first mistake when they showed us their ships, Lisa said. They wanted to scare us, so they demonstrated their weapons. But they also showed us how their ships work, how they fly, and how they fight. Major Rick Collins had been studying the alien transmissions all night. He had learned many things about the enemy. Admiral, their ships are designed to fight other fleets, Rick said. They have heavy armor on the front and sides, but less armor on the back. Their weapons can shoot forward and to the sides, but they have blind spots above and below. Lisa nodded. That is exactly what we expected. They fight wars the way everyone else in the galaxy fights wars. They line up their ships and shoot at each other until one side wins. She walked to a large map that showed the solar system. The map was covered with colored pins marking the positions of hidden weapons platforms. But we are not going to line up and fight them, Lisa continued. We are going to surround them. When they enter our solar system, they will be flying into a trap. They will have weapons pointing at them from every direction. Dr. Marcus Webb had been working in his laboratory for 18 hours straight. He had analyzed every second of the alien transmission. He had studied their ships, their weapons, and their tactics. Now he knew exactly how to beat them. The aliens have quantum plasma weapons, Marcus told his assistant, Dr. Kelly Brown. These weapons are very powerful, but they take time to charge. They also create a lot of heat. If we can make them fire their weapons repeatedly, their ships will overheat. Kelly looked at the data on her computer screen. How do we make them fire their weapons? We give them targets, Marcus answered. We send out decoy ships that look important. The aliens will waste their energy shooting at decoys while our real weapons charge up. Marcus had calculated everything. The alien weapons were powerful, but they had limits. If the aliens fired all their weapons at once, their ships would need several minutes to recharge. During those minutes, they would be helpless. The aliens think they have the best technology in the galaxy, Marcus said. But technology is not everything. Sometimes the best weapon is the one your enemy does not see coming. Back in the secret meeting room, President Bennett was ready to make his decision. He had heard about the weapons platforms, the communication system, and the battle plan. Now he had to decide whether to use them. General Cole, the president said, "Are you sure this will work?" Patricia looked at her papers one more time. She had checked the numbers 100 times. She had run computer simulations of the battle. She had tested every weapon system. "Mr. President," she said, "the aliens are more advanced than us. Their ships are bigger and their weapons are stronger. But they are fighting our war now, on our territory, by our rules. They expect us to fight them with spaceships. Instead, we are going to fight them with the entire solar system." The president stood up. Everyone in the room looked at him. "Do it," he said. "Activate Project Fortress. Let us show these aliens what humans are really capable of." Across the solar system, secret messages were sent to thousands of hidden bases. The messages were short and simple. This is not a drill. Prepare for battle. The trap was ready. Now they just had to wait for the aliens to fly into it. Fleet Admiral Kevin Stone sat in his command chair deep inside the asteroid Ceres. From the outside, Ceres looked like any other large rock floating in space. But inside, it had been turned into the most advanced military command center humans had ever built. Kevin had been living inside this asteroid for 3 years, waiting for this moment. "Sir, the alien fleet is moving toward Earth," reported Commander Sally Davis. She was watching the big screen that showed the entire solar system. Red dots marked the alien ships as they flew closer to Earth. Kevin nodded. The aliens were doing exactly what the human planners had expected. They were flying straight toward Earth in a tight formation. They thought they were being smart and careful. They had no idea they were flying into the biggest trap in human history. "Begin Phase 1, Kevin ordered. "Make it look good." Across Earth, emergency sirens began to wail. Television and radio stations interrupted their normal programs with breaking news. The reporters looked scared as they told people that aliens were coming to destroy Earth. They told everyone to stay in their homes and pray. Captain Rachel Moore received her orders while sitting in her ship above Earth, she commanded a small fleet of 20 human warships. These ships were the best that Earth's regular military had to offer. They were fast and well-armed, but they were nothing compared to the alien battleships. "All ships, this is Captain Moore," Rachel said into her radio. "You all know what we have to do. We have to make this look real. The aliens must believe that we are truly trying to fight them." Her pilots knew they were flying into a battle they could not win. But they also knew their sacrifice would help save Earth. They were not really going to die today. But the aliens did not know that. Rachel's fleet flew out to meet the aliens. The human ships were tiny compared to the massive alien battleships. It looked like children trying to fight giants. The aliens must have been laughing at the foolish humans, who thought they could win such an impossible battle. The space battle began an hour later. The alien ships fired their quantum plasma weapons at the human fleet. Bright blue beams of energy shot across space. The human ships dodged and weaved, trying to avoid the alien weapons. Some of the human ships were hit and exploded in balls of fire, but Rachel's ships fought back. They fired their missiles and laser cannons at the alien ships. The weapons bounced off the alien shields without doing any damage. It looked hopeless. The humans were clearly outmatched. "This is Captain Moore to all human ships," Rachel said over the radio, making sure the aliens could hear her. "We cannot win this fight. All ships retreat. Repeat, all ships retreat." The remaining human ships turned and ran back toward Earth. The aliens followed them, firing their weapons. More human ships were destroyed. It looked like a complete victory for the aliens. On the alien flagship, Fleet Commander Vexthara watched the human ships run away. He was pleased with how easy the battle had been. The humans had tried to fight, but their weapons were too weak, and their ships were too small. "Commander, should we pursue them?" asked his second officer. "No," Vexthara replied. "Let them run back to their planet. Let them tell their people how hopeless it is to fight us. Tomorrow we will destroy their world and end this war." But Vexthara did not know that the human retreat was all part of the plan. As the human ships ran away, they were sending secret signals to hidden bases throughout the solar system. The signals contained targeting information for every alien ship. Lieutenant Commander Steve Adams was listening to alien radio transmissions from his hidden base on Titan, one of Saturn's moons. His base looked like a research station from the outside, but it was actually a spy center. Steve could hear everything the aliens were saying to each other. "They are very confident," Steve reported to his commanders on Earth. "They think the war is already over. They are talking about how they will divide up our planet after they conquer it." The aliens were making plans for what to do after they destroyed Earth's military. Some of them wanted to turn Earth into a mining world. Others wanted to use humans as slaves. They were arguing about who would get the best parts of the planet. Steve recorded everything the aliens said. This information was being sent to human commanders throughout the solar system. The more the aliens talked, the more humans learned about their plans and weaknesses. Dr. Julia Ross was working in her laboratory on the moon. She was in charge of the quantum communication system that connected all of humanity's hidden weapons. Julia had spent 5 years building this system, and now it was time to use it. "All stations, this is Moonbase," Julia said into her microphone. "The enemy fleet is in position. Begin final preparations." Throughout the solar system, thousands of hidden weapons platforms received Julia's message. The weapons had been charging their power systems for hours. The railguns were ready to fire. The particle beam weapons were fully charged. The missile launchers were loaded and aimed. On the asteroid weapons platform called Rocky 7, Major Don Cooper was making final checks on his railgun. The weapon was 50 meters long and could fire metal projectiles at 20% the speed of light. When these projectiles hit something, they hit with the force of nuclear bombs. "All systems green," Don reported to his crew. "We are ready to fire on command." Rocky 7 looked like a normal asteroid from the outside. It was gray and covered with craters just like any other space rock. But inside, it contained enough firepower to destroy an entire alien battle fleet. Similar reports came in from weapons platforms throughout the solar system. Platform after platform reported that they were ready for battle. The aliens had no idea that they were surrounded by thousands of hidden weapons. On Mars, Colonel Janet Leigh was preparing her missile launchers. Her base was built inside one of the red planet's moons. From space, it looked like just another small moon. But it contained 500 long-range missiles, each one powerful enough to crack an alien battleship in half. Target assignments received, Janet reported. We have locks on 12 enemy ships, waiting for orders to fire. The human plan was working perfectly. The aliens thought they had won an easy victory against Earth's pitiful fleet. They were celebrating and making plans for conquest. They had spread their ships out across the inner solar system, exactly where the humans wanted them. Admiral Lisa Parker watched everything from her command center deep under Colorado. Her screen showed the positions of every alien ship and every human weapons platform. The trap was ready. All stations, this is Earth Command, Lisa said into her microphone. Phase 2 is complete. The enemy is in position. Prepare for Phase 3. In space, the alien fleet was settling into orbit around Earth. The aliens were taking their time, enjoying their victory. They sent more messages to Earth, demanding surrender. They showed more videos of their weapons destroying planets. They thought they were terrorizing the humans into giving up without a fight. Fleet. Commander Vexthara made his final announcement to the humans. His image appeared on television screens all over Earth. People of Earth, he said in his cold voice, you have seen what happens to those who fight us. Your military has been defeated. Your ships have been destroyed. You have no choice but to surrender. Tomorrow, when your sun rises, you will bow down to the Zephyrian Dominion or your world will burn. The transmission ended. On Earth, people watched the news and cried. It looked like humanity was doomed. The alien ships were too powerful. Earth's defenses had failed. There was no hope left, but Admiral Lisa Parker was smiling as she watched the alien transmission. Everything was going according to plan. The aliens thought they had won, but they had actually just walked into the most deadly trap ever created. Attention all weapons platforms, Lisa said into her microphone. This is Admiral Parker. The enemy has taken the bait. Tomorrow, when they move in for the final attack, we will show them what humans are really capable of. Prepare for Operation Fortress. It is time to teach these aliens that Earth is not as helpless as it appears. Across the solar system, thousands of human soldiers prepared for the most important battle in human history. In a few hours, the aliens would learn that they had made a terrible mistake. They thought they were conquering a weak and defenseless world. Instead, they had flown into a trap that had been 30 years in the making. The stage was set. The trap was ready. Soon, the aliens would discover what humans had really been building all these years. Fleet Commander Vexthara stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking down at the blue planet Earth. In a few minutes, he would give the order to destroy this world and everyone on it. The humans had refused to surrender, so now they would die. It was that simple. Commander, all ships are in position, reported his weapons officer. We are ready to begin the bombardment of Earth. Vexthara smiled. The battle yesterday had been easier than he expected. The human ships were weak and their weapons were useless. Now Earth lay helpless before his mighty fleet. Soon this system would belong to the Zephyrian Dominion. Open a channel to the human planet, Vexthara ordered. I want to speak to their leaders one last time. On Earth, Admiral Lisa Parker received the alien transmission in her underground command center. She had been waiting for this moment for 30 years. Everything was ready, every weapon was charged, every platform was in position. Now it was time to show the aliens what humans were really capable of. Put him through, Lisa told her communications officer. Vexthara's ugly face appeared on the main screen. His black eyes were cold and cruel. He thought he was about to deliver a death sentence to the entire human race. Admiral Parker, Vexthara said in his arrogant voice, this is your final chance. Surrender now, and I will allow some of your people to live as our slaves. Refuse and every human in this system will die today. Lisa looked back at the alien commander without fear. She had spent her entire career preparing for this moment. Behind her, hundreds of human officers waited for her command. They all knew what was about to happen. "Commander Vextara," Lisa said calmly, "you made one critical error. You assumed we would fight you the same way you fight each other." Vextara laughed. "What are you talking about, human? Your pathetic fleet has already been destroyed. You have no weapons left to fight us with." "That is where you are wrong," Lisa replied. "We never intended to fight you with spaceships. We had a much better idea." Lisa pressed a button on her control panel. Across the solar system, a signal was sent to every hidden weapons platform. The signal contained 2 words: "Fire everything." The first shot came from Captain Danny Clark's platform near Jupiter. Danny had been waiting inside a fake asteroid for 2 years. His railgun had been charging power for 6 hours. When he fired, the metal projectile shot out at 60,000 kilometers per second. The projectile hit the alien flagship before their sensors even detected it coming. The metal slug punched through the ship's shields like they were made of paper. It went through the front armor, through the middle of the ship, and out the back. The alien ship's reactor exploded in a ball of white fire that could be seen from Earth. Vextara never knew what hit him. One second, he was laughing at the stupid humans. The next second, his ship was debris floating in space, but Danny's shot was just the beginning. All across the solar system, thousands of hidden weapons platforms were revealing themselves. What the aliens had thought were innocent asteroids suddenly came alive with energy signatures and weapon ports. Commander Nancy White was in charge of a weapons platform in the Kuiper Belt, far from the sun. Her platform looked like a chunk of ice and rock, but inside it contained enough missiles to destroy a dozen alien ships. When she received the signal to fire, she launched all her missiles at once. "Fox away," Nancy reported as her missiles streaked toward their targets. 100 missiles fired, all targets locked. The aliens finally realized they were in terrible danger, but it was too late. They had spread their ships out across the solar system, thinking they were safe. Instead, they had walked into a crossfire from weapons they could not see until they fired. Major Don Cooper fired his railgun from Rocky 7. The projectile hit an alien battleship and cut it completely in half. The 2 pieces of the ship spun away in different directions, leaking atmosphere and burning fuel. "Direct hit," Don reported. "Target destroyed." Reloading for second shot. All around the solar system, the same thing was happening. Hidden weapons platforms were firing at the alien fleet from every direction. The aliens were caught completely off guard. Their ships were designed to fight other fleets in open space. Battles. They had no defense against enemies that were hiding inside what looked like space rocks on the alien ship called Death's Edge. Captain Zarthok was trying to understand what was happening. His ship was under attack, but he could not see where the attacks were coming from. His sensors showed nothing but empty space and floating asteroids. "Where are they firing from?" Zarthok screamed at his crew. "I cannot see any enemy ships." "Sir, the attacks are coming from the asteroids themselves," his sensor officer replied in terror. "The rocks are shooting at us." Zarthok could not believe what he was hearing. Rocks did not have weapons. Asteroids were just floating pieces of stone and metal. But his ship was taking damage from somewhere. A particle beam from Colonel Janet Lee's position on Mars hit Death's Edge in the engine section. The beam cut through the ship's armor like a hot knife through butter. The engines exploded and the ship began spinning out of control. "Engines are gone," reported Zarthok's engineer. "We are dead in space." Before Zarthok could respond, 3 more particle beams hit his ship from different directions. Death's Edge broke apart and exploded. The battle was not really a battle at all. It was more like a massacre. The alien ships were trapped in a killing field with no way to escape. Every direction they turned, more weapons fired at them. The humans had turned the entire solar system into a weapon. Admiral Lisa Parker watched the battle from her command center deep underground. Her screens showed alien ships being destroyed one after another. Each explosion was reported by her officers. Alien ship number 12 destroyed. Direct hit on alien ship number 18. Alien ship number 23 is breaking up. Lisa felt no joy at the destruction. This was not a celebration. This was justice. The aliens had come to destroy Earth and kill everyone on it. Now they were learning that humans were not as helpless as they appeared. Dr. Julia Ross was coordinating the attack from her base on the moon. Her quantum communication system was working perfectly. Every weapons platform could talk to every other platform instantly. They were fighting as one giant weapon with thousands of parts. Platform 7-7, you have 3 alien ships moving toward your position, Julia reported. Roger, Moonbase, I see them. Firing now? Came the reply. 3 more alien ships exploded as hidden. Railguns found their targets. The few alien ships that were still alive tried to run away. They fired their engines at maximum power, trying to escape the solar system. But the humans had thought of this too. Hidden weapons platforms in the outer solar system were waiting for them. Lieutenant Karen Bell was stationed on a platform disguised as a comet near Pluto. When the running alien ships came toward her position, she was ready for them. This is Ice Station Alpha, Karen reported. I have visual on 6 fleeing enemy ships. Permission to engage. Permission granted, came the reply from Earth Command. Show them that there is no escape. Karen fired her missiles at the fleeing alien ships. The missiles were designed to chase their targets across space. The alien ships were fast, but the missiles were faster. One by one, the running ships were caught and destroyed. In 18 minutes, it was over. Of the 50 alien battleships that had arrived to conquer humanity, only 7 were left. These 7 had managed to jump to hyperspace and escape. The rest were floating debris. The humans had won the most one-sided victory in the history of space warfare. Not a single human weapons platform had been destroyed. The aliens never even found most of them. They died not knowing what had killed them. Admiral Lisa Parker looked at her screens one more time. The red dots that marked alien ships were almost all gone. Only empty space remained where the mighty Zephyrian fleet had been. This is Admiral Parker to all stations, she said into her microphone. Cease fire. The enemy fleet has been destroyed. Operation Fortress is complete. Across the solar system, human soldiers cheered in their hidden bases. They had done the impossible. They had defeated the most powerful alien fleet anyone had ever seen, but Lisa Parker was not finished yet. She had a message to send to the galaxy, a message that would change everything. The 7 surviving Zephyrian ships jumped out of hyperspace near their homeworld 3 days later. The crews were shaking with fear and shock. They had just witnessed the complete destruction of the most powerful fleet in their empire. 43 battleships had been destroyed in 18 minutes by an enemy they never saw coming. Captain Morthick was the highest-ranking officer among the survivors. His ship had barely escaped the human trap. He still could not believe what had happened. The humans had turned their entire solar system into a weapon. Every rock, every asteroid, every piece of space debris had been hiding guns. Send a message to the High Command, Morthick ordered his communications officer. Tell them the fleet has been destroyed. Tell them the humans are not what we thought they were. On the Zephyrian homeworld, the news caused panic among the military. Leaders, Fleet Commander Vexthara had been the best military mind in their empire. His fleet had been unstoppable. How could primitive humans have defeated them so easily? This cannot be true, said Supreme Admiral Kethvak as he read the report. Humans have no advanced technology. Their ships are small and weak. How could they destroy our entire fleet? Captain Morthick's report was clear and terrifying. The humans had not used ships to fight them. They had used their solar system itself. Thousands of hidden weapons platforms disguised as asteroids had fired on the Zephyrian fleet from every direction. There had been no escape. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Gary Foster was preparing for the most important speech in human history. Gary had been chosen to be humanity's first ambassador to the galaxy. In a few minutes, he would address the Galactic Council and announce that Earth was ready to join the community of spacefaring civilizations. Are you ready, Admiral? Asked President Bennett. They were standing in a special room that had been built just for this moment. The room contained quantum communication equipment that could send messages across the entire galaxy instantly. As ready as anyone can be for something like this, Gary replied. He had practiced this speech 100 times, but he was still nervous. What he said today would determine how the galaxy viewed humanity for centuries to come. The quantum communicator came online. Suddenly, Gary was connected to representatives from dozens of alien civilizations. These were the most powerful species in the galaxy. Until today, they had never heard of humanity. Members of the Galactic Council, Gary began. I am Admiral Gary Foster, speaking for the people of Earth. 3 days ago, the Zephyrian Dominion sent a fleet to conquer our world. We defeated that fleet using methods that I believe will interest you greatly. In the council chamber on the planet Nexus Prime, hundreds of alien representatives listened with growing amazement as Gary described the battle. The humans had not tried to build bigger ships or better weapons. Instead, they had turned their entire star system into a fortress. Ambassador Veltara of the Crystalline Empire was the first to speak. Her people had been fighting wars in space for 1,000 years, but they had never heard of anything like this. You claim to have destroyed a Zephyrian battle fleet using hidden weapons platforms? Veltara asked. This seems impossible. How many platforms did you use? 4,312, Gary answered calmly. Every major asteroid in our solar system has been weaponized. We have been working on this project for 30 years. The council chamber fell silent. 4,000 weapons platforms was more firepower than most civilizations had in their entire military. And the humans had hidden all of it inside fake asteroids. Hi! Chancellor Drakmor of the Hegemony spoke next. His species had been conquered by the Zephyrians 50 years ago. He knew how powerful their fleets were. The Zephyrian fleet that attacked you contained 50 battleships, Drakmor said. Each ship was capable of destroying a planet. How many human casualties did you suffer in defeating them? 0, Gary replied. We did not lose a single weapons platform or a single human life. The enemy never even found most of our weapons. They were destroyed before they knew what was attacking them. This news sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. No one in the history of space warfare had ever won such a complete victory with 0 losses. The humans had achieved something that military experts thought was impossible. Dr. Emma Lewis was watching the council meeting from her laboratory on Earth. She had been chosen to explain humanity's new approach to warfare to the galaxy's scientists and military leaders. Honored council members, Emma said when it was her turn to speak. We call our strategy environmental warfare. Instead of building fleets to project power across space, we have made our territory itself into an insurmountable defense. Any enemy that enters our solar system must fight not just our military, but our entire star system. Emma showed the council pictures of human weapons platforms hidden inside asteroids. The disguises were so perfect that even close examination could not reveal the weapons inside. We realized that space warfare has always been about mobility. Emma continued. Fleets move from star to star, fighting battles in open space. But we decided to give up mobility in exchange for perfect camouflage and overwhelming firepower. Our weapons cannot move, but they cannot be found either. The implications of Emma's words were staggering. If every civilization adopted human tactics, space warfare would be completely different. Attacking another star system would become almost impossible. The advantage would always belong to the defender. Ambassador Zorkith of the Trading Federation asked the question that everyone was thinking. Dr. Lewis, if we wished to adopt similar tactics for defending our own worlds, would humanity be willing to share this technology? Emma smiled. This was the question she had been hoping for. We would be happy to share our knowledge, she said, in exchange for membership in the Galactic Council and full trading rights with all member civilizations. The council meeting continued for several hours as alien representatives tried to understand what humanity had accomplished. The humans had not just won a battle. They had created an entirely new form of warfare that made traditional fleets almost useless on the Zephyrian homeworld. Supreme Admiral Kethvak was reading more reports from the survivors. The news was getting worse with every report. The humans had not just destroyed the fleet. They had done it so easily that it looked like they were playing with the Zephyrian ships. Send a message to the human leadership, Kethvak ordered. Request a meeting to discuss peace terms. Kethvak had no choice. The Zephyrian military was built around large fleets of battleships. If the humans could destroy 50 battleships in 18 minutes, then no Zephyrian fleet was safe. The war was over before it had really begun. 3 weeks later, Ambassador Kefter arrived at Earth aboard a small diplomatic ship. The same Zephyrian who had planned to enslave humanity was now coming to beg for peace. He was escorted to a meeting with Admiral Lisa Parker on a space station that orbited Earth. Ambassador, Lisa said as they sat down at the negotiating table, your empire made a serious mistake when it attacked Earth, but we are willing to discuss peace if your people are willing to change their ways. Kefter looked around the space station nervously. He knew that this innocent-looking station probably contained enough weapons to destroy his entire home fleet. The humans had weapons everywhere. Admiral Parker, Kefter said in a humble voice, the Zephyrian Dominion wishes to apologize for our actions. We did not understand the true nature of human defensive capabilities. We request a peace treaty and promise never to attack human territory again. Lisa nodded. We accept your apology, Ambassador, but peace will require more than just promises. Your empire must stop conquering other worlds. You must free the species you have enslaved. And you must join the Galactic Council as a peaceful member instead of a conquering force. As news of humanity's victory spread throughout the galaxy, other civilizations began to reconsider their own military strategies. The humans had proven that bigger was not always better. Sometimes the best defense was the one your enemy never saw coming. President Bennett gave humanity's first official address to the galaxy from the Oval Office. His words were broadcast to every civilized world in known space. Fellow citizens of the galaxy, the president said, Earth did not seek war with the Zephyrian Dominion. We only wanted to defend our home and our people. We have shown that any species, no matter how advanced, can protect itself if it is willing to think differently about warfare. He paused and looked directly into the camera. We did not build a fleet to conquer the galaxy. We built a fortress to protect our home. The difference is that now everyone knows where we stand. Earth is not just another world to be conquered. Earth is a fortress that will never fall. The age of easy conquest was over. Humanity had changed the rules of space warfare forever.